Views and opinions of any of the guests of After Hours AM are not necessarily the views and opinions of After Hours AM, its hosts, its staff, or any of its affiliates.
Welcome to the After Hours program.
Are you
Now broadcasting live from the After Hours AM studio, Joel Sturgis and Eric Olsen.
Welcome to this edition of After Hours AM, everybody. I'm your host, Joel Sturgis, right along with me,
Eric Olsen.
Hey, Eric, man, we, first I gotta say, we have a great show on tap tonight, and returning to us is Ghost Brothers.
The Ghost
I
Brothers.
am looking forward to that because we had
excited.
them on last year during the premiere of their series, and now we're heading to Series 2. It'll be good to catch up with them, and I gotta say, I find those guys funny. I still like it. I still like the break in. There's some comic relief, let's just put it that way, involved in the show. It's not so humdrum, and that's something I always really enjoyed about the show.
Well, what they do is kind of on the sly. They really do an excellent job of investigating. They're using lots of cool equipment, and they really do take it seriously and get down to the bottom of it. But what they don't take seriously is themselves.
And that's what's nice. They're able to have a little fun.
Funny and charming.
Yeah, they're very,
very nice
very
guys.
charming, great guys, and they will be on, of course, at the top of next hour. And we'll welcome them open arms once again and see what's going on, how life maybe has changed since this series took off the way it has, and what experiences they've been exposed to, and all that good stuff. So you're not going to want to miss that. If you're a fan of good paranormal television, you're not going to want to miss that interview.
Yep, we will be previewing Season 2, and I noticed a couple things. First of all, they are joining the paranormal exodus away from Destination America and on to TLC.
I did hear a rumor about Destination America. I cannot unveil that, but I did hear a rumor that there may be a change in broadcasting, so that's where I can just leave it right there.
And we're already seeing a programming change as their top paranormal shows move over to TLC. Wow. The other thing I noticed is Season 2. Season 1 was pretty much focused on the South. They're all from the Atlanta area. But this season, they branch out, and they're covering the whole country.
Well, they really are, and they're moving more, and they're getting to different locations. We got the opportunity to watch a screener, you and I did, and I found it to be really damn good. Even better, I think, than last season, if you could top that. I think
so.
It was just... you could definitely tell they're a little more comfortable in their own skins this go around because, when you first start a new show, you're trying to get that mojo going, trying to figure out this and that. They're really knocking this part right out of the park. I mean, I think that they're vets by now. They're TV veterans, so they're good to go.
Yep. Like I said, I think the key is they really strike a nice balance between serious investigation and good humor individually.
Well, speaking of good humor, last night, of course, we had the show, which was a great show, by the way.
It turned out really well.
Yes.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, we had John Nicholson
sweating
on.
going on.
Yeah, exactly. We had John Nicholson on last night. He's the actor that portrays Rod Demery on Murder Chose Me, which is a big hit over there. Was it ID? What's that? Investigation Discovery. I always want to say ID instead of the whole thing.
Well, it is ID.
But yeah, great interview, great show. If you're a fan of true crime, it is up for download, of course, on iHeartRadio, as well as our own Podomatic page. You can go Stitcher. You can go anywhere and get that show.
Go to the site.
Go to the site, more importantly. Exactly.
And
that, again, is America's-most-haunted.com. Check it out. Read the article and listen. Now we did catch a little flack from last night, Mr. Eric.
Did we now?
Well, we did, and I did have, and I will address this, a couple of emails, more than a couple, saying, A, we should not talk about what human beings taste like.
Well,
they took offense. Okay, well, I didn't know. Maybe they were looking for culinary art advice. I don't know how to cook us up. But they kind of took offense to we would actually Google how people taste. But, that's the thing. It's one of those burning questions, man. We always ask weird questions as mankind.
It's a true crime show.
Exactly.
You don't expect Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck.
Yes, I just want to clear the air right here and now. Neither one of us has tasted.
Are cannibals.
No, we are not. We are not cannibals. Eric, just because he brought up Papua New Guinea, does not mean he was over there eating people.
I was
just
not.
Want to clear that up. And number two, it's unfortunate what the Florida man did to his dog. I get it. But it wasn't me doing it to his dog. Settle down.
I don't care how you look at it, unless you're the dog.
What do you care?
It's funny as hell.
It is. Baby.
Look, the essence of a true crime show, and that's the Wednesday night, are the most extreme human foibles. That's what it's about. That's what people are interested in. What are the most bizarre things that people do and why? And, of course, the most extreme thing a person could do, or I mean, more or less, I guess, is commit murder. So, of course, that's number one, and we're really trying to dig into it and get behind it and get into the mentality and hopefully maybe save someone down the road, And,
you just never know. We might be that guy or girl gets a word of caution from us and looks twice before jumping in the car with the murder in the back seat.
Or one of Clarissa, our great colleague, our outstanding colleague, Dr. Clarissa Cole, who is a practicing forensic psychologist. One of her profiles may give someone out there a hint as to someone in their life to look out for.
Sure. Absolutely. Give you the cues, I mean, that's the thing. It's also information, but don't worry, guys. We're always going to push the envelope. That's what we do. We can't help ourselves. That's what we do.
Exactly. And again, especially on the true crime show. Paranormal show, that's all about oddities as well, but it's kind of a different sort. It's more of a spiritual nature. And, of course, we get into all kinds of other broadly speaking paranormal topics like cryptids and UFOs and all that. So, on that show, occasionally we're going to run into something that's, a little beyond the pale and talk about it. But really, true crime, I mean, let's face it, it's about people doing terrible things to each other or to their dogs.
Or to their dog. What my response was, though? You were cool with a guy living with a corpse for 7 years, but eating flesh is where you cross the line? I mean,
look, I have to tell you, it's ironic, actually, that the topic of cannibalism came up, and that I guess we had a response from some people who thought we were engaging, advocating.
Yeah, but we're not.
Light of it. We're not.
We're not.
I got to tell you,
we're not making a cookbook.
My entire writing career, which I don't even want to tell you how long it is. It's too long. It goes way, way back. I mean, I started writing professionally, believe it or not, as a kind of mid-teenager. So it's been a long time. All right, so my point is this. I have always found the general topic of cannibalism to be abhorrent.
Isn't it, though?
A lot of people, there's a lot of sociologists, anthropologists, historians who kind of give you that, well, let's place it in a historical light, right? Especially when you're looking at cannibalistic societies from the past or cannibalistic rituals. They're saying, look at it in context. And I always say, in any context, it is among the most horrifying things that a person can do. And I do understand a completely different side of it is cannibalism purely for survival. And I do understand that there are some circumstances where that would be possible, where your only opportunity, if you're out in the middle of the ocean and you have nothing to fish with and so on and so forth and someone died, that whole scenario. I get it and I accept it if it truly was the only possible option, either death or eating someone.
Kind of like the Donner Party. Dead. The Donner Party and the cast of the movie Alive was based on the plane crash of the rugby team.
Exactly.
And they turned to cannibalism. And of course, the Donner Party, they turned to cannibalism. I mean, it's been in history. It does take place. It has taken place. And somewhere in this world, some reach, it's normal to some places. Exactly. I'm sure you could
but
find
not
some.
To us.
No, not to us. No. No, yuck.
Stop eating people.
Yeah, stop it. There isn't enough A1 sauce. I'll make it okay.
So, yes, in a sense, we did make light of it by talking about the taste. But, hey, it's a reality. It's got to have a taste, right?
Well, it has to. I've always wondered if we tasted like chicken.
Apparently we do.
Evidently, we're a cross between chicken and pork.
Exactly.
I guess we're white meat.
That part I find very interesting in that, again, in the language of at least one of the tribes of Papua New Guinea, human flesh is called long pig. And again, that's because it is similar or at least reminiscent of pork. But here we are. Talking about it again.
We are again, but again, if you are of the sensitive ilk and you do not like to hear about cannibalism, we do. From the bottom of our radio hearts, we say sorry.
We apologize.
We love you.
We do.
Don't leave us. We'll get better, I promise.
Don't go away.
Don't. Oh, okay. But yes, absolutely. And another thing, people are doing things to dogs, stuff like that. It's true crime, like we'd said. Now, speaking
of... We vote no.
Exactly. We're not advocating anything that anyone may or may not do with their animals. So there it is. Blanket. We do not support either activity here at After Hours AM. There. Done. Speaking of true crime, though, want to hear something that happened to me?
I do, but hang on one sec. Hold that thought.
Okay.
The only exception that I can think of to the anti-cannibalism rule, other than the caveat we have already mentioned about if it's an absolute survival situation, that is your only option. The only other circumstance I can think of is it may be okay to eat someone who has sex with his dog.
But you are what you eat. Would that make you dumber? You know what I mean?
Clearly, it would make you dumb.
Because then there's that. But I do say this, Eric. If we're in a plane together, we go down, and you're in that situation, I'm dead. I give you full permission. Go ahead, man. Carve into my thigh. Take some meat, man. Survive. Tell the tale.
Thank you, and you as well. All right, so I interrupted you. Please go ahead.
Earlier this week, this has happened more than once, but you ever go to? I'm sure you've gone to Hardee's, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I have gone to Hardee's. Although I don't know if they have them around here, but I've been to them. Yes.
Okay, here's the deal. It's not just Hardee's. I got a couple tales to tell you. I was eating a Hardee's burger not too long ago, and there was a hair in it. Not just any hair. A very long hair. Extremely long hair that I did not discover until I felt it with my tongue as it was pretty much down to my stomach. I had to pull this hair out going while I did it. What the hell? I mean, am I the only one that keeps running into hair in our fast food? I mean, this is ridiculous. It's an epidemic, I found out.
Do they wear...
I guess not.
Hair nets?
Well, I kind of vented about it. I don't know if you saw it on Facebook earlier this week. I said, oh, my God, I got hair in my food. This sucks. Oh, yuck. And, of course, I called the restaurant going, hey, you know what? This is the second time this has happened. The first time I was able to catch it, pull it out of the burger, and throw the burger away. Second, this time I actually consumed your hair. Can you possibly do something about this store? Because, otherwise I'm just going to stop coming here. And, of course, I got the stock, I'll look into it answer from the general manager. You know, that answer where they could really care less. Exactly. Well, we'll take under advisement and we'll look into it. But I'm pretty sure that we all wear hair nets. Except for the guy at the fryer area that has hair longer than Jesus. He's the only one that doesn't wear, evidently, hair nets. I don't know if it's a religious thing or what's going on, but he will not wear a hair net. I've noticed this, by the way. And, and I posted on Facebook ranting, and my God, it's an epidemic. Everybody had a story. Everybody had a disgusting in their food story.
Sure.
One lady, she writes to us, she got a hold of me. She says, you think that's bad? I found a worm in my chicken nugget.
I've heard of that before. Yeah.
I can handle hair before I can handle the worm in the food.
I'm not even going to tell you the most disgusting Kentucky Fried Chicken story I've heard.
Oh, you're going to tell me.
It's just too disgusting.
You're going to tell me.
All right, let me see if I can phrase this in the least objectionable manner. What a person found was not a foreign body. It wasn't something. It was from a chicken.
It was from a chicken at one time.
It was an abscess.
Oh.
And really kind of big and gross abscess. Oh my
yeah,
Lord.
A pussy one, I bet too.
Yeah, yeah. That was a word I was trying to avoid.
Yes, well, there it is. There's the word pussy for you.
That's the worst I've heard.
That is just. I mean, I know you don't do much fast food. I don't view you as really being a fast food eater.
It kind of goes in cycles, when we're super busy and running around. Like Dawn, my wife was just out of town for a week. She was having to attend to her father's estate, which is very, very sad. Anyway, it was very complicated. Anyway, we're on our own, and we're all super busy, and we're running around. And I don't cook much just because I'm an idiot. That's why. That's the only reason. I'm an idiot. I don't cook much. It's no statement of any kind. It's just I'm not good at it.
Yeah.
And it takes a long time, and I'm lazy in that regard. So there are times, like, for example, the last week, where we have had more fast food than usual. Generally, we do try to avoid it. Although we all love pizza.
Well, everybody loves pizza. Come on.
I think so.
I don't know of anyone that doesn't love pizza.
I don't either.
But that's the thing, though, is you're taking a chance every time you go out and you don't prepare yourself.
You are.
There's a certain amount of expectation of risk involved. But my grossest hair moment was, and I'll tell you this one, it was a little mom and pop greasy spoon kind of place. You've seen them, right? Small town, there you go. So I go to this small little restaurant, and I order me some breakfast. I am starving. I'm saying I am hungry. So I get myself the loaded hash browns and the whole bit, the nice big breakfast, because I knew I wasn't going to probably eat the rest of the day until supper time. So I thought, well, I'm going to load up now. So there I am sitting at the table, and I'm getting ready to eat, and I see this hair. Not just any hair, like a mullet-type hair. I mean, this hair was so long I was jealous I had hair. All right? My food had more hair than I do, and I was getting jealous. Yeah. I didn't know whether to tell the waitress to start combing its hair. Like, oh, there you go, Billy Ray. Look at that. Oh,
was it styled?
I was thinking about styling it, just because I was so jealous of the hair. So I call over to the waitress, and she comes over, and she says, well, what's going on? I said, yeah, your hair. My food needs a haircut. You got a clipper with you by chance, because it needs a haircut. So she looks at it. Oh yeah, that's hair. Yeah, thank you. I really need an explanation what hair was, but thank you very much there, Thelma. Why don't you go get Scooby-Doo over here so you can take care of the rest for me? So what she does is she reaches over me, okay, right in my eye line, without asking, without saying anything, not even to excuse me. Reaches in, grabs this, I could have swore it was a 5-foot-long piece of hair. I mean, at least it looked huge to me when she was pulling it out of there. She's done pulling the hair out with her own hands, unwashed hands, which I do not know where they've been. They did not look like the cleanest things on the face of the earth, let's just be honest. Turns to me in all seriousness, says, "There you go, you can eat it now."
Oh, my heavens.
Are you on frickin' crack, lady? You must be smoking the crack rock if you think I'm going to eat this now. I mean, you must be nuts. So I said, well, is there a discount for having the hair? Well, we can give you 50% off. No, lady. Here's the deal: is you had a hair, and I'm pretty sure it was from that chef that's not wearing a hairnet over there that can clearly see slinging the hash. And I says, I bet you there's a speed dial I can get to on my phone for the health department. Oh, stuff got real right then and there. As soon as the health department word was thrown in there, oh my God, the bells and whistles went off. Everyone went into DEFCON 5. I swear that there was a Russian in the background like there's a nuclear launch. It was not good. People running, panicking, the lady throwing things everywhere. At the end of the day, I got up from the table. I said, I appreciate the meal. I'm not going to pay for this, obviously. But you guys have a good day, and hopefully the rest of your day is hair-free. Because I'm not coming back here, so try to keep the hair out of the food. Thank you very much. And the lady said, "Oh, we're so sorry. We're so sorry. Don't tell anybody." Well, I'm sorry, man. If someone turns you in, that's not on me. I'm just saying, if you got a hair problem, maybe you should address that. Okay, that's my story. Done.
Cool. Well, look, since when did finding a hair, especially a lengthy, obvious from someone's head hair.
And by the way, just for the record, for all the listeners, I'm bald.
So it wasn't yours?
No. I am a cue ball, man. I'm bald. I shaved my head.
So there is zero doubt that was your hair. As far as I know, it used to be anyway, if you found a hair in cooked into your food, A, you don't pay, B, they replace it. They don't tell you to eat it once they take the hair out.
I couldn't believe she reached over me to grab the hair out of there. And like I said, Billy Ray Cyrus during the virus, the Billy Ray virus, what do they call it? Cyrus virus days, where he had the beautiful mullet, had nothing on this piece of hair.
This was choice hair. Now, I am not someone who is really grossed out by hair like a lot of people are. I'm not. It's just hair. What big deal? It's hair. But that's more like, I'm talking about in the bathroom, in the drain, on the floor, where it's either mine or my wife's.
Yes, it's not so bad.
Or maybe a pet, I suppose.
I had a roommate in college, and let's just say the bar soap you could have pet. It's like, no, I'm good.
You could braid.
You could. Soap. I am so using body wash. All right, I'm not touching that bar of ivory.
Well, for those who are upset about the cannibalism discussion and the dog humper from yesterday, we're talking about hair and food now.
Well, we are. We kind of switched gears now. This is really part of the human condition, though.
It certainly is. With or without conditioner.
That's right. Sometimes maybe it has the permanent wave put in it. You just never know. know.
I don't mind if it's my own hair because, it's my own hair. And if I did it, I did it. And I'm not particularly grossed out. But, yes, I certainly do not want to run into a hair in my food, whether it's fast food or slow food or medium speed food.
Well, zombies hate fast food. We found that up in The Walking Dead. They're not a big fan of that.
No, because it's too speedy for them.
It is. Hey, have you? I think we might have covered this on the show, and a listener brought this up to me just today. And I want to just get your thoughts on this. Have you ever heard of something called the Mandela effect?
I have. And you know what, though? That's fairly recent that I had heard that title. I knew of the phenomena, but I hadn't heard it called that until my daughter had it in school maybe a year ago or 2 years ago, fairly recently. And she said, do you know what that is? And I said, I don't know. I'm not sure. And then she explained it to me. And yes, I understood very well the phenomena, but I had not heard it called that.
Yeah, well, this is from a listener off of our group page at Facebook. And they had a while ago.
You should tell people what that page is.
Yeah, that's America's.
Go there and
join. America's Most Haunted. Or actually, it's After Hours AM / America's Most Haunted. And actually, man, we got quite the little group over there. We got 1,223 souls that believe in us enough to listen to what we have to say on Facebook.
So come on in and join. You can also go. There is an America's Most Haunted Facebook page as well. So yeah, we're not just on Twitter, which you talk about all the time because we do the paranormal news from the America's Most Haunted Twitter feed, but we are very, very active on Facebook and even Pinterest as well.
We are, and this particular listener brought a link to me from BuzzFeed showing the differences. How the Mandela effect could be real. Like, for instance, Oscar Mayer, right? How do you remember it being spelled? Because remember the song?
I
first
think
name,
I do know it's Oscar.
Mayer has a last name. It's
Mayer.
Yes, but see now, if you look at the packaging, it's Oscar, of course, like it should be. That's Meyer.
No.
Yep. And they claim it's always been that way.
Wow. No, I did not know that.
Yeah, and then the second that they point to is Sex in the City, right?
Hey.
Okay, it used to. They have two things say. One says Sex in the City, the other one says Sex and the City.
What was it originally?
Well, that's what I'm looking for.
I think it was and.
It's Sex and the City was the original that we know.
Right.
But now, if you look at all the covers right now, dating way, way back, it's Sex in the City.
Is it really?
It is. It is. A Monopoly guy. Remember how he used to have the oracle he'd wear, or what do they call it? Monocle, rather.
Yes.
Running with the money. Now he doesn't. And they claim he never had a monocle.
Well, that's not true.
That isn't true. It is not true. Absolutely. So, it's mind-blowing, man. I'm looking through the looking glass here.
We should explain what the definition is. What the definition is basically, of the Mandela effect, is that very, very widely commonly held beliefs, whether it's about the spelling of some common name, some fact, the title of Sex in the City versus Sex and the City, etc. It's a very significant portion of the population, and even the media has it wrong. They don't know. And it goes all the way back to mishearing lyrics. Because
they cite what is it here? Queen, we are the champions. It ends differently than we recall, according to them. Many of the familiar with the song remember the final lyrics: "No time for the losers, because we are the champions of the world."
Right. Yes.
Guess what? There is none of that in that song.
Really?
No. The last verse just ends. According to this, the song just ends. And it's driving people crazy because they feel 100% sure. We grew up with the ending going, we are the champions of the world. Am I right? That's what we remember. No time for losers because we are the champions. We are the champions of the world.
Right?
We remember that. Well, they claim,
I do, yes.
They claim, as in they that research these things, that they claim that there was never that in that song. And I know there was. I'm 110% sure that there was. And I'm going to try to find someone that's really knowledgeable on this Mandela effect, someone that's way better than we are, maybe someone that wrote a book on it, to come on and explain this Mandela effect and how it's changing and what's changing. And, oh, my God, are we going to be gone tomorrow? Is it going to be after hours PM? I mean, is it going to change? I mean, come on.
All right, I'm reading... let's see. That's a different song. Let's see.
Yeah,
that's a different version. There's the Crazy Frog version.
Yeah.
Which I have never heard. But let's see. Queen.
Okay, I'm going to drop this link that I have that was referenced by the listener into your Facebook. And you take a gander at that, and you tell me whether I'm going insane, they're going insane, or if everyone's going insane. And another tidbit that's brought up to me just yesterday, a good friend Mike Peter over there at IRN Radio, we're blasting live over there. You're going to want to tune into IRN Radio. He brought up a good point, wondering if all this Wi-Fi is creating EMF that may be impacting our health. He was curious with all this Wi-Fi now.
I've heard that as a possibility before. Well, let's look at it another way. It has absolutely been proven in several studies. What I'm seeing, well, let me finish that thought, and then I'll go back to the Queen lyrics. Because now I'm seeing, I am seeing that something was changed between the original version and the later recorded version. It's not exactly what we were just saying now, but anyway. So
okay, you look that over. We have to run the break. You peruse that. You peruse that really quick, and before we hit headlines, which is next, America's Most Haunted Headlines, you tell me whether I'm insane or not. You tell me whether I've been wrong all these years, and really, it is the way it appears. Or I mean, because you've been in the music industry years. I mean, heck, you even wrote the encyclopedia, literally, of record producers, so you would know better than anyone else. And you sing the song. True. And you sing the song.
Most, not all, but
well,
most.
You sing the song with the props, of course, which you can hear in better bars everywhere around Cleveland. But you're a musician, so you would know better than I would the actual lyrics. So we come back from After Hours AM. We'll get Eric to weigh in on this very important subject of the Mandela effect. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back right after this.
Hey, if you're catching this edition of After Hours AM on podcast, make sure you like and subscribe to After Hours AM. And for all you iTunes listeners, make sure you rate and review After Hours AM.
It's your ideas, work, and creativity that make it your yard. At ACE, we're here to help with hoses and sprinklers to nurture growth, gardening tools for the shape of good things to come, even the right fertilizer and bug killers to make the grass a little greener. You'll find it all now at ACE, your place, with everything you need for your yard, plus helpful advice, almost like we're right there. ACE,
the helpful place.
Anavar Media LCC is a dedicated team of professionals committed to helping business development scale and protect their websites, mobile applications, enterprise software solutions in the Northeast Ohio area. Locally owned since 2012, our client-centered values truly sets Anavar apart. Contact us today to learn how you can get 25% off your first project. Call them at 234-380-4852. Again, that's 234-380-4852, or visit them at www.anavar.com. Again, that's www.anavar.com.
The most violent animated film of the year, Martin Scorsese's delightful cartoon classic, You're a Good Fella, Charlie Brown. With Joe Pesci as that lovable round-headed kid, Charlie Brown.
Hey, you lousy fucking piece of shit!
And Robert De Niro as Linus. Hey, you guys, come on, your friends here. Lighten up, Charlie.
You too, Linus!
Hey, Charlie Brown, I'll hold the football for you.
Oh, yeah? Well, you too!
You're a Good Fella, Charlie Brown. Now showing on a double bill with Nightmare on Sesame Street.
Hi, Tom Bodette. If you can hear me, then you have an internet connection, which means you can do cool things online, like listen to streaming radio, obviously, or watch a video of a monkey washing a cat. Let your freak flag fly. Or you can book a room at a great price at Motel6.com. Isn't the internet wonderful? Everything you want right at your fingertips, and whoa, did not need to see that. I'm Tom Bodette for Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
You're listening to After Hours AM, the best in alternative talk radio. Got a question, comment, guest suggestion, or just want to say hi? Contact us at afterhoursam@gmail.com. That's afterhoursam@gmail.com. Want to call the show and be interactive? That's easy. The number is 612-326-6874. Again, the number is 612-326-6874. And thank you for listening.
You're just sitting there, all high and mighty in your diaper. If anything, you need me. You're a baby.
Come on, Mouse.
Don't you dare take Miles. You can take the children, but you leave me my monkey.
Welcome back to After Hours AM, everybody. I'm your host, Joel Sturgis, and right along with me,
Eric Olsen.
Hey, Eric, man, did you do some digging during the break on the Mandela effect? And what is your thoughts? Are things truly changing on us, or are we all just going crazy?
Well, usually it's simply a matter of a mistake becomes, in essence, a meme. So there's something about the mistaken version that sounds more right to people than the actual version. I think that's the most common. Now, there's this kind of mystical side of it where things literally seem to be mutating before our eyes and are making us feel that our memories are faulty. But regarding the Queen lyrics, I just wanted to look into that one specifically. And what did actually change, and I'm guessing this is the difference between the album version and the single version, because that's usually when arrangement changes are made. Usually songs are shortened when they go from the album to the single version, especially in the old days when you were talking about an actual physical vinyl single versus an album. You simply had more room on the album than on the single. Plus, single was 45, and still is for that matter, 45 RPMs, whereas the album is 33. So in other words, it goes faster, so you need more space.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes sense.
So anyway, the bottom line is there is no question that the correct lyrics are, "We are the champions, my friends, and we'll keep fighting till the end. We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losers, because we are the champions." Now, every other time that you go through those words, which is at least two other times, this is the third time through, it's the last verse or last chorus. And in the original version, he never concludes with "of the world." So you're left hanging, right?
Okay.
Because we are the champions.
Yep.
And that's it.
So there never.
But
so what you're saying
on a later version, which I believe is the single version versus the album version, he does add a final.
He's able
of
to
the
add
world.
That. Okay, gotcha. Because there's more space on the 45, right?
Well, it takes more space.
Okay,
you see.
Gotcha.
It requires more space. So in other words, you would want it to be shorter. So this time it had nothing to do with length, I don't think, right?
Yeah.
Because it's actually longer on the single if you're adding "of the world." It's not a lot longer; it's a couple seconds, but it's still longer. Usually, it's not just the physical characteristics of the physical single and the fact that it spins at 45, so it's going faster. So in other words, it's taking up more and more and more space. The slower you would go, the less bandwidth that you would need. You see what I mean?
Exactly.
So it takes more physical space to hold the same amount of information on a 45 than it does on a 33. But usually the reason that singles are changed, that arrangements are changed from an album to a single, is simply for radio. Radio likes it short,
Exactly.
As you know.
Yes, because radio, quite honestly, a lot of times radio, we do it for the love of the game. We just love radio. But your giant conglomerates, we're just noise between commercials. We're the filler, really, between commercials. So the quicker they can make that song gives them 10 more seconds of ad space.
Well, and I'm sure and I'm sure and they do this on TV, or at least they used to also, speeding everything up slightly.
Yeah, they are. Yes, they are. In fact,
and that may make 30 more seconds or a minute more in an hour, and that's another ad.
That is another ad, and that's a lot more money in their pocket. Now, the Wi-Fi thing that Mike Peter over there, IRN, brought up, I thought that was a really fascinating question. I kind of did some digging. I attributed it to Lowell. I think we have the same thought process, so why don't you go ahead and tackle that one?
Yeah, I was going to say it certainly is possible and is not in any way illogical that there may be some sort of physiological effect from this energy, from these waves that are Wi-Fi, because certainly a parallel to that, an analog, is look at the electrical lines. Mm-hmm. Anyone who lives near power lines, clearly, there's no question, there's been many, many studies, can suffer any number of maladies, everything from cancer to all kinds of strange neurological things, because that energy, it's going through you. There's too much of it in the air. You got all that electricity in the air, and it's simply not good for you. In a way, it's like a far less, of course, intense version of radioactivity.
Well, I got a hold of the FCC today. And I called up to the FCC. I called their information department. And because they govern Wi-Fi, because it's a frequency over the air. So FCC governs Wi-Fi. And I asked them, is there any correlation that you're aware of between Wi-Fi and brain cancer? And their official statement was this: there still is not any good explanation for mobile phone or Wi-Fi that could cause or can cause brain cancer. Although research is leaning towards the possibility that long-term exposure to this radiation does have enough energy to damage DNA. It cannot directly this time be the source of cancer.
Wow.
But further study is recommended and needed in this. So any and all frequencies that are causing cancer in the human body can be amended.
Huh.
So that's their official stance. They're saying, well we don't know.
Yeah, that's not very reassuring at all.
No. They're like, I don't know. Maybe. That's basically the answer they gave in a nutshell. But yeah, I reached out to them. They sent me their official memo that FCC takes the stance. And this is our explanation on that. Because, quite honestly, Wi-Fi's here to stay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much cancer it causes. It's here to stay because, my God, I can't live with it. You can't live without. No one can live without it. And you know another thing I can't live without? America's Most Haunted Headlines. I tried to do the British thing. Didn't work at all.
Nice transition.
Beautiful, right? That's
very
beautiful.
Good. Very, very nice. All right, my friends, head on over to twitter.com, and we are at AM Haunted, and that stands for America's Most Haunted. It's the America's Most Haunted Paranormal Twitter feed.
So
check it out. And, of course, you can just sit there and listen like a lump, or you can go check it out. So then you can see the pictures, you can click on the links, and on and on. Okay, first one. I found this fascinating because I have never heard anything about this. Do you know when the country of Iceland celebrates their equivalent of Halloween?
No, when?
Ash Wednesday.
Really?
Yesterday.
Really? So their Halloween, their ghosts and goblins and all the fun and trick-or-treating happens on Ash Wednesday.
Yes.
That's such an odd day to have Halloween.
It is odd. I believe the connection would be the purpose of Ash Wednesday, of actually putting ashes on believers. And just for example, I was visiting my parents yesterday. They're in assisted living, but they're doing pretty good. And the minister, the assistant minister from our church, he visits them quite regularly, which is very nice because they can't always get out. It's hard for them to get to church. I try to get them there as often as I can, but they miss fairly often. So it's very nice to have a personal visit. So he asked, would you like me to perform the Ash Wednesday ceremony? And they said, sure, why not? So, he puts a cross on the forehead in ashes, right? So the point of that is the ashes are to remind us of our mortality.
Really?
So it's a reminder of death, and then of course, the underlying central theme of Halloween is death and the afterlife.
So it's basically representing ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Exactly.
Is that where that's going? Okay. That makes sense. I mean, I always kind of wondered because, see, I'm Lutheran. We didn't do a whole lot of Ash Wednesday stuff, although it is there.
This is newish.
Okay.
I don't remember doing it when I was younger either.
Yeah, because that was more of a Catholic thing when I was growing up because I had several relatives that are Catholicism, they're Catholics, and I'd go with them to Mass once in a while. And Ash Wednesday was, they'd rub the cross on your head and they'd say a little prayer and you went about your merry way. But yeah, that's very cool information, Eric. I did not know that, and it's really cool that they are celebrating Ash Wednesday in such a unique way.
I know. It's kind of makes Ash Wednesday fun. All right, now we love these images. We love the ghost images.
I've been waiting to get to this one.
Check out this next one. We got this cute little 13-year-old girl taking a selfie. Her brother is behind her, looks like outside of a window. I think, I don't know. Yeah, I think that must be a window. To her left, our right. But then look immediately to the right of the brother, and what do you see?
Well, let me try to blow this thing up. All right, let's do some, I'm going to run it right through what I would do on a paranormal investigation right now.
Okay.
And I am going to run this through a program that is dedicated to nothing but analyzing images, whether it's actually there or not. Whether the thing that we are indeed looking at does have some type of validity to it, and whether it doesn't. So let us run this really quick. It'll take about a second.
Very cool.
Go ahead, Eric. Go to the next one. I will do this quick, and I will tell you whether it's real or not.
All right. So what does this remind you of? Will Smith is part of a secret quasi-governmental organization meant to keep the existence of aliens and monsters and the like from the knowledge of the general population. What does that sound like to you?
The government.
Well, it sounds like Men in Black.
Well, it does. It sounds just like Men in Black, but,
But it's not.
I've decided I'm going to blame the Russians for everything. So Russians. It's the Russians.
It's a brand new series on Netflix. It just came out Monday. And, of course, you know how Netflix does it. They release the entire series all at once. New series starring Will Smith. It's called Bright, and it looks really cool. It looks very much like Men in Black, actually.
Sounds very cool.
Bright.
Okay.
By the way, speaking of Netflix, I got to mention, I did finally, it took me a long time, finish the series. I think I mentioned it at some point. The OA. Wow, that was
really
great.
What's the OA all about?
The OA, and they never tell you explicitly what the OA stands for. It is a woman's, the star of the show. It's her name. It's not her given name. It's a name that she hears actually from another dimension, possibly. And she hears it phonetically, OA, OA. And she says, that's my name. Now, it's also implied that it stands for Wanana, and this is a spoiler, Original Angel.
Really?
So it's a fascinating series. It's about a young woman, who has a near-death experience. Well, it turned out it wasn't near-death. She died and got sent back as a child. And then it's very complex, actually. She's originally Russian. She's from Russia. And she literally loses, we don't know what happened to him, her father. And she ultimately is adopted in the U.S. by a couple. So then we skip ahead to when she's a young adult, and she once again has a near-death and it turned out death experience again. And when she returns, the first time when she was a child and had the experience, she returned to life blinded. When she has it again later, she returns with sight.
That is, I'm going to have to watch that. I haven't seen that show yet. I'm going to check
amazing.
that out.
And it's really not even the plot, it's how it's done. So I won't go into too much detail because it's very convoluted. But the bottom line is this. She is found out. She is found out by a researcher, and that's Jason Isaacs, who was well, it's been a ton of stuff, but he is in what's his name? Malfoy.
Okay.
Lucius Malfoy, the father, not the son, the father in the Harry Potter movies. He's been a ton of other things. He's really, really good actor. Anyway, he's a researcher, and he actually he collects and kidnaps people who have had near-death experiences because he wants to learn what's on the other side. He wants that breakthrough for himself.
That sounds really, really good. I'm going to have to check that out. Oh, by the way,
the OA.
The OA, check it out. I'm going to check it out tomorrow. And then, of course, this October, Stranger Things coming back to us on Netflix, by the way.
Yes. And also, the other one I wanted to mention, I have one episode left. We just loved it. It was so, so funny. And that is the Santa Clarita Diet with Drew Barrymore as a zombie. That didn't sound all that promising. It's hilarious.
I'm going to check that out as well.
And creepy / bloody.
Well, what I find creepy is, Eric, I got to ask you, why do you have naked clowns in your feed, man? I'm looking at this clown and I'm thinking, oh my God, Eric, do you know what you just posted on Twitter?
See, she's not technically naked,
well,
though.
She has paint on her. Okay.
Because she's covered in white paint and she has a red clown nose.
So technically, yes, not in the buff.
No.
But
legally she's not.
So legally she's not in the buff, but wow, that may not be the body you want to show off.
Well, I wouldn't, but that's just me. So nonetheless, it is a very odd story, and it comes from the New York Post. And yes, this clown woman decided for some reason to be the creepiest clown of them all.
Mission accomplished.
Paint her entire body white and put on a red clown nose. And we have a picture of that. All the more reason
you got
head over to Twitter.
It's all in its glory there. I'm looking right at it, and she's got the clown nose, and then the rest of her is indeed
very little is left to the imagination.
Exactly, and that would scare anybody.
I would say. Hey, did you figure out anything about the
I
picture?
did. Okay, here's the deal with your picture. Number one, the photo that we are looking at, as near as I can tell, as near as my program can tell, is when I embossed this picture for original images, original images, the girl and the male are equally embossed, meaning that they have the same weight picture-wise, that they are real, that they are in the picture. They're original artifact of the photo.
Got it.
The man that is allegedly standing next to the brother outside does not have the same content weight as the other two do, lending itself to be highly suspect of photoshopping. Generally, when you take a photo such as this, the entire photo has X amount of what they call weight to it, megabits, things like that. When you go to emboss it to see the true features of that photo, everything should come up with the same weight value. This does not. So there you go. Very well could have been, and I would have to say, photoshopped.
Very interesting. I love that. All right, moving along. NASA is looking for your help, citizen help, to find the elusive
Uranus. Oh, sorry.
The mythical, Uranus. No, Planet 9. The mythical Planet 9.
Didn't they refine that once?
They think they've found some evidence of it. They haven't found any direct evidence, and that's what they're looking for. So they're looking for citizens to help them track down and actually locate Planet 9.
Interesting. Now, Planet 9, that would be, of course, if it was found, would be the 9th planet in our solar system.
Yes, in the old days it would have been the 10th.
Yes, but we got Pluto went down to a dwarf planet, and he's no longer in the club. No one liked him enough to keep him around. I was really sad for Pluto that day.
Me too.
I was thinking very, very much. I was hoping the little guy'd pull through, but he didn't make the cut. So now I hear that they found Planet X. Oh, my God, we found Planet X. It was hiding there. And you had never heard anything after that about it. Right?
Well, this would be Planet X. Planet 9 is Planet X.
Well, they claim, remember a long time ago, we broke it here. That, oh, wow, there's Planet X. It's right there.
Yes.
We're looking right at it. Now, all of a sudden, we're like, we're not so sure anymore. That makes no sense to me. I smell cover-up, Eric. I smell cover-up.
That's always a possibility. I think what we announced, whenever we announced it, wasn't direct evidence. It was indirect evidence. Like when they were originally finding, when they first started finding, I don't know, it's still not that long ago, 20 years ago, I guess, these exoplanets, it was very indirect evidence. They only were able to infer the presence of a planet by the teeny tiny wobble of the light from the star that planet circled. So in other words, the only way they could tell that planet was there was when it went in between the star and us and blocked out a teeny tiny bit of the light.
Gotcha. I'm following you now. I hear you. Mr. Science.
So that was how they were first finding exoplanets. Now they're getting more and more direct, and as our telescopes get better and better, we're getting to the point where we're getting close anyway to being able to actually see these planets rather than just infer these planets.
Well, we might have a tiebreaker on the thought process. In fact, the Ghost Brothers have called in a little bit early.
Oh, now.
And when they call in early, when we're doing headlines, we got to have you guys break a tie for us. You guys ready for this?
Gentlemen.
Are you there?
Brothers in Ghosthood.
Well, I guess the line at the moment is dead, so to speak. But we will have them on, of course, top of the hour. I do believe, Eric, we are on hold.
Is that what it is?
I think they put us. They called us, just put us on hold. What's up with that? I don't know. But anyhow, we will have them, of course, at top of the hour. But I think now there is a Planet 9. I think there is a Planet X, and I just hope that one day that we find some type of conclusive proof that there was at least once life somewhere else. We don't have to find it today. We don't have to see them, running around, colonizing, and everything else. But it would be nice to find that affirmation for everybody that, yes, indeed, we are not alone in this vast universe. There is a reason for it.
You want to hear my opinion?
I do. I'd love to.
I think we're going to find evidence of life, and I'm neutral on whether there is still any there now. But I think as close, as nearby as Mars.
Really?
Yep. I think we will find. I'm talking about microbes. I'm not talking about.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm not talking about elephants.
Well, we're not talking about, we're not talking about E.T. phoning home or anything. You're talking about microbes.
I'm talking about microbes in the soil.
Like building blocks of life. Building blocks of life.
Not just building blocks. I'm talking about actual life.
Really?
Very, very low-level life. Microbes, bacteria, that kind of thing.
Now, did we not find, if I'm not mistaken, during the Clinton administration, was there not a meteorite that hit the ground that did show evidence, or at least fossilized evidence of bacterial life?
Very good. Yes, it's exactly right. But the problem with that was it was about equally split between those who said yes, those are fossilized bacteria, and others said no, it's not.
Oh, well, there you go. Because I never heard anything after that big press conference. Hell, even the president came on TV.
It's possible. It's possible that was evidence of life. But anyway, I do think we will end up finding some form of microbes, whether they're still alive or not, that I don't know. I think as close, as nearby as Mars. And I think we will find eventually, because it takes a long time, I think eventually we will find other life, actual life, and I'm talking about very low level now, microbes, elsewhere, even just within our solar system. I predict it.
I sure hope so. I hope you're absolutely correct on that because, man, I cannot wait. But we got to run a break, everyone. When we come back after Fox News, we will be talking with the Ghost Brothers. Don't go anywhere. Be right back right after this.
This is a Fox News Alert. I'm Kathleen Maloney.
Totally false.
That's how Attorney General Jeff Sessions describes reports that he may have discussed anything about the presidential campaign with the Russian ambassador. Fox's Jared Halpern is live on Capitol Hill.
Taking the advice of senior career Justice Department employees, Attorney General Jeff Sessions says he will recuse himself from any ongoing or future investigations about the Trump campaign and Russian election interference.
I should not be involved investigating a campaign I had a role in.
But Sessions insisted he did not have campaign-related contact with the Russian ambassador when the two met in September when Sessions was a member of the Senate Armed Services Committee.
I don't recall any specific political discussions.
Top Democrats say recusal is not enough, calling for Sessions to resign or appoint a special prosecutor. Kathleen.
Thanks, Jared. White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer defends Sessions, saying he was simply doing his job as a senator when he spoke with the Russian ambassador. The election is over, but Americans are still feeling a high degree of political anxiety. Fox's Gernal Scott has the results of the latest Fox News poll.
That's right, Kathleen. This new Fox News poll shows that 6 in 10 voters say they're nervous about the state of politics. That, however, much better than a year ago when 80% were anxious. Because of that, more people seem to be keeping an eye on Washington. 52% say they're closely watching the Capitol, while only 6% say they're scaling back their attention to D.C. Still, 3/4 of voters say how the 2016 election played out will make them more likely to vote in 2020. And as far as protests of the president go, 53% say it's time to accept the result and move on. Kathleen.
Thanks, Gernal. Stocks closed lower. The Dow sliding 112 points. S&P losing 14. NASDAQ down 42. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced. A young woman who spoke out about immigrants' rights is being detained by federal agents.
22-year-old Daniela Vargas was arrested Wednesday in Jackson, Mississippi, after Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents determined her status under Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA, was no longer current. Immigration attorney Abigail Peterson says her client, whose parents brought her to the U.S. at the age of 7, is culturally American.
This is where her family is. This is where her friends are. This is the life that she knows. I mean, she is someone that has a love for this country.
Vargas remains in federal custody as she awaits a hearing before a judge. In Jackson, Mississippi, Jonathan Seri, Fox News.
13 members of a violent street gang are indicted in New York in connection with the killing of 3 high school students last year. Federal prosecutors say 10 of the suspects are in the country illegally. A mosquito-borne virus may cause more health issues than originally thought.
Zika virus is blamed for thousands of babies born worldwide with microcephaly, or a deformed head and brain, but a study released today by the U.S. Centers for Disease Control says a mother infected with Zika during pregnancy could have a baby with other types of birth defects, specifically of the head or the eyes or central nervous system. Between 2013 and 2014, those defects occurred at less than 1% of U.S. births, but last year, during the Zika epidemic, those defects were present 6% of the time. That's a 20-fold increase. In Miami, Eben Brown, Fox News.
Another recall involving faulty Takata airbags. It affects nearly 32,000 newer Ford Edge and Lincoln vehicles in the U.S. and in Canada. It's not the same potentially deadly defect that has caused millions of recalls worldwide. In this case, the airbags may not inflate completely. Ford is not aware of any injuries. I'm Kathleen Maloney, Fox News Radio.
Welcome back to After Hours AM, everybody. Evidently, somebody forgot to feed the squirrel in the call system, Eric. And, we have 2 of the Ghost Brothers with us, but I assure you, I am feverishly working to add the third.
Way to go, Joel. Yes, indeed.
You're a jerk. You didn't get everyone in. I don't like you anymore. I'm going to cry. I'm really hurt my feelings and stuff, but
We will rectify the situation.
Yes, we will.
Indeed.
Yes, we will.
Have we said that we're After Hours AM, America's Most Haunted, and that you're Joel and I'm Eric? Have we already done that?
I do. Why don't you go ahead and do that? I think I already did while I'm working here, of course. Well,
and I just did it again. All
at you.
right. So we are excited about our guest this evening. I can't even believe it's been almost a year. It was last April when we first spoke to the Ghost Brothers, Dalen Spratt, Juwan Mass, and Marcus Harvey. And they were just about to go on the air with the first season of Ghost Brothers, and then it was Destination America. They, like their fellow paranormal stars from Destination America, have moved over to TLC, and Season 2 launches Friday, March 10th. So in other words, a week from tomorrow.
Not to interrupt you, my friend, we have a full boat now. We're all here.
All right. Welcome, Marcus, as well. Well, he didn't reply.
He didn't reply.
Am I here?
You are here. You are here. I'm here. The other guys are here.
All right, I'm going to start talking. All right, here we go. In the Season 2 premiere episode, the Ghost Brothers travel to Newcastle, Indiana to investigate paranormal claims at the historic and, frankly, creepy as hell Thornhaven Manor, reported to house negative energy that targets men based on a heinous murder. The bros set out to discover what the phenomena actually is. Other haunted hotspots explored on the second season.
Phenomena. Oh, sorry. Whenever I hear phenomena, I go, phenomena. Phenomena. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Eric. I didn't know my mic was live.
On Season 2, we also go to a desolate sawmill nicknamed the Mill of Death. I think I'll avoid it. In the bayou in Louisiana, the maze-like home, this will be great, of the Winchester Mystery House in San Jose, California, a haunted elementary school in Middletown, Ohio. I know which one that is. And the White Witch of Rose Hall in Montego Bay, Jamaica, and more. All right. Well, we've already introduced, but let's do it again. Dalen Spratt, Juwan Mass, and Marcus Harvey. They are the Ghost Brothers. Welcome to the program, my friends.
Oh, man. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, guys. I think we're down Marcus. I don't think we have Marcus with us for some reason. I'm not sure. Man. I know, right? I know. Marcus, call.
Like the wind. He's like the wind.
Marcus,
he comes, he goes.
Marcus must be trying to go solo. Look at that.
Well, that is
only one season.
Getting hot.
Are you telling me he's one and done?
He's one and done.
Marcus, please call the show. Please, I'm begging you, call the show. It's our call system, not us, and we really, really love you.
Yeah, we have had some issues. But again, welcome to the show, guys. So at the moment, we have Dalen and Juwan. So what's up, guys? How was it filming? How was it different? Doing Season 2, and are you excited about moving over to TLC?
Man, Season 2 this is great, man. It's like they gave us a budget. We got a budget this season, man. We can get to really move around. Got some new equipment, man. We're going to bigger and better places. TLC, is a big move. That's, way more households, so it gives us an opportunity to reach way more people. So we're excited going into this next week.
The only problem with TLC.
What's that?
Every single viewer is a woman.
Oh, come on now.
Why is that a problem? Why is that a problem? That's a problem that we don't mind having.
It's not quite 100%. But no, actually, I've been looking at their demographics, and since the paranormal shows have been moving over from Destination America, they're actually skewing a little more toward the male. So that's good. I'm sure they're happy about that.
Really? Okay. Yeah, that's interesting.
And I'm sure you guys will continue the trend.
Right, exactly.
Well,
absolutely.
You guys, to be honest with you, you guys are really good at what you do, too. I mean, that first season, you guys came on. No one really, heard of you guys, mainstream-wise. I mean, even though you guys have been doing this a really long time. no one was really familiar with you, but now you guys have really proven your chops. And do you find that easier this go around because of that experience of getting more comfortable in your television skins than the first go around?
Yeah, to me, Dalen speaking. Go ahead, Juwan.
Well, no, I was gonna say, it feels a little bit more natural now, right? Like, and the TV really doesn't, like, you kind of like, how can I get comfortable doing these skills in television where I know I'm going to be judged by everybody else who does the same thing? Like, how do I know I'm doing it right? And by you guys saying we were great, that, like, you guys saying, like, we professionals out there and we look really good, now that we're comfortable on TV, I think you guys can see that more authentically, right, in season 2. I think it comes off like a little bit more natural.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree, and I think that, of course, like most things, whether it's radio, television, whatever, comes with experience in front of the camera or in front of the microphone for us, and you get more comfortable with your own abilities, and you also grow as an individual.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about this first episode. That's the only one we have seen. We did get a screener, and it is really great in both ways that you guys are so good. In other words, it's a very serious investigation, and I noticed you had some new equipment. You're busting it out. It's doing a good job.
Yeah.
You're serious about it, but then you guys are still really funny and very, very charming personally. So you really walk that line. It never gets too jokey, and it never gets too serious in terms of, in other words, it seems from the outside that you guys take the investigation very seriously, but you don't take yourselves seriously.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, man. That's the route that we've always wanted to take. Like, we wanted people to be able to take, our interests serious, man. But, like, we as friends don't take ourselves serious. I don't understand how you can take yourself serious with people that know everything about you. You know what I mean? So, like, I feel like that shows on Ghost Brothers, like, we get our genuine friendship and our genuine relationship.
Plus, you guys are looking for ghosts. I mean, come on,
Right.
May not even be there. Let's face it.
Exactly.
Well, that house you guys went to, though, in that first episode was creepy as hell. Let me just tell you.
God.
Oh, that
tell
thing.
us about that.
It was nuts. It was off the chain, man.
Like Dalen, was that you or was it Marcus when we pulled up? They were like, look at the house. It looks like it's crying. Like,
Marcus did.
It's like the house was, I don't even think being on, like, you guys seeing it on TV is one thing, but when you're actually there and you get the energy that house is putting off, and then you look at this house and you're like, the only other thing behind that door has to be hell. Like, you're like, oh, there's no way. There's no way there's anything good behind that door.
And that certainly turned out to be the case. Why don't you guys, give us the background on the place? It's really creepy.
Yeah, the story behind Thornhaven Manor. So a family back in the day owned the house, and they left to move in closer into the city, and they left it to their caretakers, which was another family. And it was a husband and wife, and they had 2 daughters, and one of the daughters was married. And sadly enough, man, the husband of one of the daughter ended up sexually assaulting the sister-in-law.
Oh, damn.
And she ended up telling her, she ended up telling her father, and he was planning to go to the authorities the next day. But at breakfast that morning, the gentleman poisoned the whole family, and the father ended up dying. And so, like, that just started this chain of events in Thornhaven Manor. That's just one of the stories that runs rampant through that old ran down house.
Really?
Crazy. Yeah.
Man, that's a house right for a true crime show. So we do a True Crime Wednesday. We could have the house of True Crime Wednesday where everything is gone on that house.
Man, exactly.
I felt like it was like a First 48 situation.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
when you guys feel the darkness and the depression in that house. It's crazy. It's horrible.
But what was
ugly.
What was crazy to me, though, is the activity started, not to give too much away for the show, but the activity started during the lights on walkthrough.
Exactly.
You know, that's saying something. Yeah, it was like no waiting for lights out. We're going to start messing you guys right now.
That's never happened to us before, ever. That was like, I don't even think that's happened to a lot of people before, right? Because you just don't, I mean, you're not even.
And we will be right back again. For some strange and odd reason, we are having some technical difficulties with our phone system tonight, and it wants to just drop things left and right, left and right, left and right. So don't go anywhere. And we are back. Sorry about that. Our phone system, once again, I do apologize to all the listeners, decided it was going to cut out for a brief second there. But we are back.
Wow, well, we were just chatting away.
You were just chatting away, and that's all right. You guys chat away. I do apologize for any inconvenience that this is causing, but yeah. But let's get Marcus in here right now. He did try to call in. Oh, man. Go ahead, guys.
Eric, I wonder what the last thing they heard us say, Eric.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, the last thing...
How far back did you lose us?
Well, we lost you just right after it asked, and we were talking about the activity fired up. And Marcus, are you with us?
Finally.
Hey, brother, there you are, Marcus. All right. We are good to go. We got the whole crew here.
The band is back together.
The band is back together. Again, I apologize. Very, very rarely do we have issues with our call system, but once in a while, it just does happen. I like to blame it on the Russians. That's just me. But anyhow, we have one here, and we left off.
I said Marcus was going solo.
Exactly. We were saying
I'm working on my album right now.
One and done.
Yep. That's the word on the street. He's going solo. Hate to break it to you guys, but sorry.
I'm not sure nobody come to see you, Otis.
Lieutenant for the GBA, the Ghost Basketball Association.
Yeah, well, anyhow, the last thing that the audience heard was we were discussing the activity fired up even before you guys started the investigation.
Daylight and night. Yeah, all I was going to say, I don't even know if I actually said it or if I said it in my head, that if you do follow the theory of ghosts, then they wouldn't even know if it was day or night, you see? So I think the perception that we have, that humans have, that ghosts come out at night, I think it's just more that we expect them to, and we're looking for them then. I don't think there probably really is a difference.
I have a theory on that. And I've been, around the paranormal for a little while. Longer than I want to admit. The reason why I believe that ghosts are more prevalent after lights out is because our senses are heightened. We're more attuned with our environment. A light will flood one of our most important senses, that's our sight. And of course, when the lights are on, you're not expecting to see a ghost or hear a ghost because the lights are on, because you're not looking for it. And then once the lights are down, they're off, everything's quiet, we can hear a pin drop. That's why it's still going on while the lights are on. We're just not aware of it at that moment.
Well, what my theory is that the freaks come out at night.
It could be. It very well could be. I mean, that's as valuable as any other opinion. And it sure does seem to hold water, though. That people more than any other time do catch phenomena of the paranormal kind at the PM where it's dark, where that you're absolutely onto something there. But I have heard of a lot of hauntings during the day, so I don't know, guys. I mean, you guys really know your stuff, and you guys use some really good techniques that I admire. Number one is, well, you're not too darn serious about yourselves. You're able to be personable, even to the ones that aren't with us anymore.
Right. Yeah, man, we want to treat everyone with, respect. You know what I mean? I feel like if you treat these spirits the same way you would treat someone as if they were living, you would probably get a better response. Well, we don't see a need to be aggressive or to be angry or be provoking unless, that spirit has been giving us that type of energy back. But starting off, man, it's a first impression just like everybody else.
No, exactly.
We like to say don't start no stuff, won't be no stuff, pretty much.
Right. That's a great
Speaking
way
of
of
Will
at
Smith.
You don't start
mind your business.
None.
Just mind your business.
Just mind your business. Keep on walking.
Did you guys see he's got a brand new series on Netflix that's remarkably similar to the Men in Black?
Word. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
It's called.
I've actually been trying to, apply for a position as a Men in Black. The truth done came out.
You guys should do that.
I'm out here. That's my first announcement. It's happening.
Another one and done.
Oh my God, they're falling apart on us. Poor Eric first, the phone system. Now they're breaking up. My God, no, just kidding. They're not breaking up, guys. Don't worry. The Ghost Brothers are going nowhere. They are really an interesting group to watch. I find you guys to be very personable on TV. Because you are in real life as well, because we've had you on the show before and you guys are great individuals with great senses of humor, but I still like when it came to hell. I ain't dealing with no hell, man. I am out of here, because that would be the same reaction I would have. That was the great part. I'm like, are we kindred souls here? Because that dude's trucking, because I would be too. And that was funny. I really appreciate that.
All right. I'm alone again in hell, been abandoned. Once again to the darkness and my trigger objects. So, on a serious note, though, I've noticed that you guys really do an excellent job and do put a lot of emphasis on trigger objects. How did that come about, and what do you think you get out of that?
Man, I think anytime you have something that can remind someone of something, it always adds that little extra visual show and that extra, I don't know, like it just pulls something out of the spirits. I feel like in the first episode, like I said, the gentleman was poisoned at breakfast. So we do this thing called visual provoking, and we have this great idea to recreate that whole moment. And just feel like if I was someone that may have passed away in a moment, and to see it again from the outside looking in, that would bring something out of me. So I don't know. It's just cool. We just try to think outside the box when we do our investigation. Just try different techniques.
And that's a good thing. That more of that needs to happen. And that's what's nice to see. You guys are bringing that different theories to bear, rather than being clones of another ghost group, or another investigators, rather, group of investigators. Sorry if I can get that spit out there. I like the fact that you guys are definitely pushing that envelope. It needs to be pushed even further, and I think you guys will keep doing that.
Thank you. Hey, well, we appreciate that.
Well, yeah, because everybody did the same thing for a long time and got the same results for a long time. And it seems like you guys, and I know, or rather it seems, you guys are trying different approaches and getting different results. And that's what matters.
Right.
What's the new equipment this season? Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
We have to give a lot of props to our crew, too, like especially Kendall Peters. He's one of the guys who's really been instrumental in helping us kind of come up with some creative ideas. He's had a lot of experience in the paranormal. And he just helped us a lot with bringing that to the team. And one thing that we kind of really adopted is just we're three guys, so it's just not just us three. It's a team behind us. So we always have some really good people who can kind of give us some good suggestions. And, of course, we remain creative and remain, connected to the story. And we just pretty much just follow the story and just kind of follow what might actually invoke that type of energy, because we're always dealing with energy. So anything that's kind of, familiar will always evoke some type of energy to you.
Yeah, exactly. Trigger objects, especially like when you guys are sitting at the dinner table, and again, not to give away the store, but when it came down to eating and you asked, at the dinner table, different questions of what would be the trigger, the meal was the trigger. And that to me was interesting, because evidently something big happened during mealtime, and that's why it was so powerful for that spirit.
Yeah, he died.
Yeah.
Yep. Right.
Yeah, he died. He checked out.
That's climax. That's where it was.
Yeah, he checked out during dinner. What a way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like a rat.
Like a rat. Rat poison.
Ugly tale. Yeah, it always seems for some reason, when you hear a story like that, so here's this guy who's essentially, raping within the family, my God, and then murdering the entire family, or at least trying to cover it up. So you hear about these things from the past, and it sounds so antique and strange, but unfortunately stuff like that happens all the time. Not all the time, but it happens in the real world and in our era all the time. Hey, can you tell us about, I know we can't get into too much detail, but tell us about some of these other locations, because you're getting out of the South. You've spread your wings. You're going kind of coast to coast, it sounds like.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we slid on out to Jamaica. Went to Jamaica.
Yep.
We was in Montego Bay.
We was in Montego Bay.
We need to get a show.
Brought out the leopard print Speedo. We brought the leopard print Speedos out. Yep, was rocking it.
Okay,
absolutely.
You tried to showcase it. We had to tell Marcus, like, hey, this is not the time or the place, bro. Like, you can't really just shock them.
I got a new body
with the leopard. Yeah, you got to go like shirt off, then you can go to leopard print Speedo. But you ain't even giving them shirt off yet.
You got to ease into it.
Shirt off.
You ain't got to ease into it. I got a new body, guys. I got a new body. When you get a new body, you just want to try everything.
Well,
with
exactly.
So
you got to try it out. You got to take it for a test drive.
Leopard. It screams leopard print.
It screams leopard. It screams leopard print.
Well, hey, if you got to flaunt it, isn't that the old saying?
You got to. I try to tell them every episode. You got to use what you got to do what you want.
Yeah, man. So we did a lot of great spots, man. We did Montego. We did Indiana. We did San Jose.
Wow.
Where else did we do, fellas? Yeah, we did a lot of spots.
Ohio.
We did the Cleveland, Ohio, the House of Wills, which is a very unique situation there. What else? Dalen? What else did we do, Dalen?
Oh, man. Hey, House of Wills. Hey, Eric. So Marcus had another one of those, like, oh, hell moments. I ain't messing with no hell. He had one of those moments at House of Will. Like, you guys are in for a real treat, because that place that's probably the scariest place we went all season.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
crazy.
You guys are going to some really active locations, and should we expect even scarier this season than last season's?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Everything's bigger and better this season. All the
Blacker.
scares, the laughs, the equipment, the locations, everything's great this season, man. Like, I'm telling you, man, we got a budget.
I was going to say that. That's what you said.
Budget.
Now moving to TLC, having the bigger audience because it's more accessible than the Destination America, which is a great channel in its own right, not taking anything away from it. But moving it to TLC, is there a different vibe to the show? Do you guys feel, like it's a bigger opportunity for more eyes, and you guys are able to get bigger and better exposures? And if so, should we be looking for a cool spin-off maybe down the road? Maybe you guys can go after cryptos.
I don't know, but I think our levity and our jokes will be more. I just think that maybe they'll be more accepted on TLC because like the crowd isn't as serious as it would be on like a paranormal, like strict, like only network like Destination America, right?
Because yeah, that's a good point.
I think those two networks could definitely thrive in paranormal, but I think the type of paranormal may not be as accepted with each audience group. So I don't know. Maybe it'd be really interesting. I'm looking forward to it. We're really happy about it.
Yeah, it's really well done. We got to run a break. We come back. We're gonna talk more with the Ghost Brothers. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back right after this. Hey, if you're catching this edition of After Hours AM on podcast, make sure you like and subscribe to After Hours AM. And for all you iTunes listeners, make sure you rate and review After Hours AM.
Hi, Tom Bodette. If pop culture is to be believed, roughly 40% of all people are actually vampires. or dating one? Well, undead or not, you can always save on a clean, comfortable room at Motel 6, even if you sleep during the day because direct sunlight turns you into a pile of sparkly coffee grounds. Speaking of which, we have free coffee every morning. You day sleepers may want to go for the decaf. I'm Tom Bodette, and we'll leave the light on for you. Book online at motel6.com.
Anavar Media LCC is a dedicated team of professionals committed to helping business development scale and protect their websites, mobile applications, enterprise software solutions in the Northeast Ohio area. Locally owned since 2012, our client-centered values truly sets Anavar apart. Contact us today to learn how you can get 25% off your first project. Call them at 234-380-4852. Again, that's 234-380-4852, or visit them at www.anavar.com. Again, that's www.anavar.com.
Hello, I'm Frank Bartles, and this here's my partner, James Brown. As the weather starts getting too hot, we hope you will reach for one of these. New Bartles and James Brown wine cooler.
It tastes good.
They come in 3 funky flavors. Gravity grape,
Get down.
prime of passion fruit,
Woo! Kiss my face.
and my personal favorite, papaya.
Papaya's got a brand new bag.
It'll get you off faster than a big city lawyer. And a single pack serves 6 to 10, just like James.
New Bartles and James Brown wine coolers. The Cooler Cooler, made in the cooler.
Now behind bars everywhere.
And, thank you for your...
Taking a family of 5 to the amusement park can cost a small fortune.
Oh, yeah. So to save some money, we thought, hey, let's bring the amusement park to us.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, step right up, young man. Are you ready to ride the wacky waterfall?
That's just the bathtub with the shower head running.
Nope, it's the wacky waterfall.
It's the shower, Dad.
Waterfall.
Wacky.
There's an easier way to save. To get a free rate quote, go to geico.com. Then buy online, over the phone, or at your local Geico office.
You're listening to After Hours AM, the best in alternative talk radio. Got a question, comment, guest suggestion, or just want to say hi? Contact us at afterhoursam@gmail.com. That's afterhoursam@gmail.com. Want to call the show and be interactive? That's easy. The number is 612-326-6874. Again, the number is 612-326-6874. And thank you for listening.
The number you have reached, 911, has been changed to a non-published number.
And welcome back to After Hours AM, everybody. I'm your host, Joel Sturgis, and right along with me,
Eric Olsen. And don't go chasing waterfalls.
That's right. That's right. That was the original TLC.
Please stick to the rivers. Stick to the rivers.
But they are now the Ghost Brothers. They're bringing
that
back.
You're used to.
They're bringing sexy back to TLC.
Yeah, see, no one even knows what we're talking about. We're talking about there's 2 TLCs. There's
That's
the
right.
The network that the Ghost Brothers will now be on, and there's the group from Atlanta, and the Ghost Brothers are from Atlanta.
Here we go, guys.
Then there's the song "Tender Loving Care."
Let me give you guys this little tagline: Ghost Brothers bringing sexy
TLC?
back to
Oh, wait, that's
TLC.
TLT.
Bringing sexy back to TLC.
Listen,
there you go.
You won't get a check when we use it.
Okay. Well, just cite me once in a while when you say it, right? just throw my name in there and say that's where we heard it from. But again, for everyone that's just tuning in, and we just had a lot of people just tune in, we have really one of the greatest shows, one of the best shows, paranormal-wise, I've seen in a long time, I'd say within the last few years, outside our good friend Nick Groff, and of course Amy and Amy Brody, and then of course we covered all that, and they're all good people. It's like a big block of the paranormal and TLC. Why?
Just name the TLC lineup. I guess we like them all.
We do. We like them all over there in TLC, but It really is good. It's kind of cool now that I can actually watch these shows because, like most of our listeners, I did not have Destination America. And so it brings you guys to be more accessible.
Oh, tell them. Exactly. It's a huge step for us being on TLC. Because a lot of our families didn't have the DA packages. But a lot of people did go out and purchase the package just to catch our show. So thank you to everybody who did that.
Yeah, it's a two-way street, my friends.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
Can we give one more thank you? Can we give one more thank you?
Yeah, you guys
can
do as many.
You can have multiple thank yous.
First off, we want to thank all of the fans and all the our fellow ghost hunters and ghost brothers and ghost sisters who go out there, beyond your fears and actually try to go beyond and try to see what's, beyond this life. You know what I'm saying? So we want to just really give a shout out to all those people who thought it wasn't cool to do this, and now it's cool. So now you the first people to be the cool people in the line. So shout out to everybody who's been ghost hunting for a while, who's given us tools to learn how to do the genre and really do our thing. So we just want to shout out everybody who's been doing it for a while, man.
Well said, man. Well said.
Much respect.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's always the trailblazers, and because without the trailblazers, we wouldn't be here. Without
got no road.
For like us, Art Bell was our trailblazer. Without
we
him,
stand on the shoulders of giants.
Exactly. So without that, we wouldn't be here. And without the original ghost hunters on Sci-Fi back in the day, maybe you guys wouldn't be here. So I mean, it comes full circle. It does. And how is this now? Season 2. You guys have been doing this a while. Any new thoughts and theories in the paranormal? And B, how has it changed your lives? I mean, what do people recognize you more when you're walking down the street than they did before?
Yeah, it's funny. They do sometimes, and we're so not used to it. Like you're so not used to it, and like people come up to you and will look at you, and they can't put their finger on it sometimes where they know you from, or if they do know you, they ask for a picture and it has to register. Oh yeah, they watched the show. Like it just catches you off guard. But it's amazing, man. I love interacting with people that tell me about this, that they watch the show. Man, I love hearing their opinions and their feedback. So it's cool. It's real cool.
And as far as the paranormal goes,
go ahead, Joe.
Now, as far as the paranormal goes, you've gone to a lot of different destinations that could only have been on your bucket list before the show. Has your thoughts on how this whole crazy thing of the paranormal works? I mean, you guys have a new theories that you rethought and said, wait a minute, this is really how it works rather than what I was thinking before?
Man, I think, this is Dalen speaking, man, I think with every investigation we go on, our jaws dropped open even wider than it was before. Like, we've seen things this season that we've never seen before. Had things happen to us this season that never happened in last season, or just in us doing it in our own time. So, I mean, it seems like everything stepped up a notch. Mm-hmm. So I still have questions, man. I don't know about you guys, man.
Every day.
It just expounded my mind to now I'm really really lost now. I don't know, man. I have so many more questions.
Well, it's crazy. Just the activity. Dalen, did you tell them that we caught a shadow figure?
No, I didn't think about that.
Really?
Oh man,
yeah.
What was?
Tell us.
Yeah, definitely tell us.
It was just it was one of those things where we caught it on the DVR monitor, and it was crazy because the way the shadow was moving, it would have literally walked right through Marcus and I coming down some stairs. But it's the terrifying yet interesting thing is you wouldn't know that a shadow just walked through you. We could, it would have been holy cow. You know what I'm saying? All that is just timing. And luckily, Dalen was watching the monitor and was able to play it back for us.
Wow. Now that's strange when something walks through you like that. Oh.
Yeah. And the amazing thing about it is, for me, this is Marcus. What I've witnessed with us is that we've actually gotten a lot more comfortable in investigating. Mm-hmm. So we're not as quick to leave a situation until it really gets real, and we're like, all right, now that's cool. We got what we need to get. We can bounce right now.
But I think that we've kind of settled a little bit more into the investigations to the point to where we can really focus on, getting the information. But, we still keep our humor. We still keep our enthusiasm. Mm-hmm. And I think what it's done for me is just more so like it's just kind of opened my mind to like there is way more to this world than what I've been taught, what I've been told, what I've been shown, what I've been known. Like it's just way more to it. So that's what I've learned so far.
Well, I do have a touchy question for you guys, and being that all three of you are extremely proud African American men, and before you guys had this show on TV, it was all primarily white. Have you guys seen a bigger diversity rise since the show has come out? Have you come across more ghost hunters of diversity than before? That maybe you guys were the trailblazers.
They're out there.
Okay.
Yeah, they're out there. They're out there working hard just like we are. They know who they are. We know who we are. You know what I'm saying? But I think that for us, I think we just continue to make sure that we're not necessarily just looked at as just the black ghost hunters, but we're looked at as the best ghost hunters. Yeah, and that's not. And I know you're not saying that. I'm just saying like just for us, because that's something that we all looked into when we was getting into it. We didn't see anybody representing us, and now we're starting to see that because we have a different flair, we actually allow other people to want to jump into that adventurous side of them. So it could be like African Americans,
sure,
Hispanics, Asians, like even more like even more Caucasians. I mean, I guess they love it. So more the merrier. So,
well, the reason why I bring that up is because when we had you on the first time, and that was something we brought up at the show, because there wasn't a heavy influence or a representation of diversity in the paranormal. And that was something that we all were hoping that a show could be that trailblazer to seeing more diversity. And I believe, like you just said, I believe it really has been. I think you guys should be proud of yourselves to that regard too. I really do.
Yeah, we try to reach out and speak to like all the fans that write in and write us on Twitter and Facebook, and through all of those comments, I can honestly say there have been a lot of people who've wrote us and told us, because of you guys, a lot of minorities, because of you guys, this is is giving us the outlet or to want to try something like this or we want to step outside the box and try. So I think that it is cool that we have inspired a lot of people who may not have been thought that they would have been accepted into a genre like this, or thought that it was weird, or thought that it was too different for them, are stepping outside the box. And it's cool, man. Like, we like letters like that, so keep sending them in, keep sending us tweets. We always try to respond back, and that's inspiring to us to know that people are really getting motivated by some stuff that we're doing.
That's all the cool geeks.
Exactly. Yeah. When you guys were just talking now, I was just thinking about it, and my mind was kind of free associating. And pioneers kind of always have to be exceptional. They looked long and hard and picked Jackie Robinson because he had so many characteristics, and he was educated out of UCLA, and they thought he had the temperament and he could withstand, the abuse. It was horrifying. And then look at Barack Obama. I mean, what an exceptional individual he is. So really, you guys, I mean, to be in the position that you're in and to wear that mantle lightly, it's not like you have really emphasized it. It's just one more element of what you do. But for you to have succeeded as well as you have, and to be as accepted as you have, and to be as liked as you had, you guys really did have to be exceptional individuals. So I absolutely congratulate you for that, and think you were absolutely the right team, to make this move, which should have been done long ago. It shouldn't be that big deal, but hey.
Well, I just want to add
barriers are barriers.
Yeah, you guys just flat out bring it. You guys are good at what you do. I mean, all color aside, and I'm just saying flat out as individuals, you guys know what the hell you're doing, and that shines through. And that's really what matters the most at the end of the day, is that you guys really bring real research.
Look, man, every time we put us in the same category with Barack and
listen, we gonna be on somebody's church fan. That's all I'm gonna say. The Ghost Brothers are gonna be on somebody's black church fan, and that's when we really doing some things. When we get on the black church fan, we really do.
Martin, Malcolm, and the Ghost Bros. And the Ghost Bros, Martin Barack.
All exceptional individuals.
Wouldn't that be
right?
great, though, if they could reach out to Barack and have him come on an investigation with him? Wouldn't that be funny? That would be so great.
Is he having a good time lately?
We want to we actually want to do an investigation at the White House and be the first paranormal investigation team to do.
That would be.
And the reason why I said it on here is because one, you guys are like the best in the industry, so we want to make sure that when people try to kind of copy us, we ain't trying. We want to be the first, and that's our goal.
Yep.
The White House.
Yep.
Well,
TLC.
I'll tell you what.
If
you guys get in there,
Call me.
there during this administration, you really are miracle workers.
Ain't that the truth?
That's when there's going to be that. That's when there's going to be that much more action because there's no light.
There may be more action now. All right, there was a fashion mentioned, the leopard print Speedo that was so visually brought up earlier. Now, as I understand it, two of you guys actually have a fashion company, and that's your real job. Tell us about it.
Yeah, man, our fashion company.
Go ahead.
It's called Dalen Spratt. So Dalen and I have a upscale made-to-measure menswear line. And we do a lot of weddings, so tuxedos, we do suits, we do shirts. It's just something that we do, and it's like inspiring to the culture. It's every man deserves to be suited, and we do like a lot of our weddings, and we kind of tell the groomsmen that if the woman can say yes to the dress, why can't you salute the suit? And that kind of like
that's a good catchphrase. I like that. That works out real well.
Yeah. Matter of fact, they're not just focused on like weddings and all that other stuff. They're also like they've been featured in like magazines. They've been featured on like the Stephen Colbert Show, which we all did an appearance, and we were all in the fly Lorenz Spratt suit. So they had us looking like these guys are amazing, and they whatever they can say is just always just a kind of a humble overcast. These guys are amazing. They would have you look very, very well to do.
And how did what were your backgrounds? How did that come about? How'd you get into that business? Which can't be
being
easy.
fly. They just being fly.
No,
go ahead.
Right. No, so Juwan and I actually met at Clark Atlanta University. We were both studying business in business school. And while there, I studied abroad in Beijing, China. And when I was over there, like I started learning like the logistical process behind their manufacturing and all that good stuff. Came back over here, and Juwan and I started making suits for ourselves. And people on campus and people around, all of our friends started, taking notice of the stuff that we were making for ourselves and just started asking, could we make them suits as well? And, one suit here, two suits there turned into like a full functioning business.
Where can we buy this stuff? Where is it available? What department stores or what catalogs? Where can you buy the suits and all the clothes?
Right. So we run everything online right now at our website, LorenSpratt.com. So it's LorenSpratt.com. So you can go in there, man, and see, our merchandise, see the stuff that we have, suits that we have, pieces that we have. You can contact us, reach out to us, and, if it's weddings or it's an event or anything like that you need to taken care of, contact us, and we'll reach out to you and get everything situated for you.
Yeah, in fact, I'm on your website right now. Very, very good looking, very high end stuff. Very nice clothing, really nice suits.
Panache. We call it panache.
Okay, panache.
I just made that up.
Panache. It's got a lot of panache to it. And, of course...
Well, you guys have been hard chargers all along. And, Marcus, as I understand it, you are a comedian/barber.
Yes, actually...
Barber star.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of funny because this week I actually am the barber for a TV show called Survivor's Remorse, which is on Starz Network. It comes right after Parlor. But this week we had Ernie Hudson on set, so I got to cut Ernie Hudson's hair. So I actually got to cut the OGB, which is the original Ghost brother, Winston. I got to cut his hair today, this week, so that was amazing.
You guys are hard chargers.
They really
not
are.
A coincidence.
Yeah.
You really are the Jackie Robinsons.
Man, listen. If you go to my Instagram at Marcus Harvey, you will see the picture and the video. It's just cool. It's just a cool situation, man, to know that a trade could get you to a place to where you're able to use your imagination in every vision that you've ever had. So, had I not been able to cut hair, I wouldn't have been able to meet Dalen. And had I not been able to meet Dalen, I wouldn't be a part of like something that he created, which is Ghost Brothers. Him and Juwan created Ghost Brothers, and it was just amazing to be a part of that. So it's just dope, man. Like we're having an amazing life. It looks like we bribing God right now. I feel like we bribed God, and it's just like he just got to do some stuff for us. He's doing stuff for us. So we're totally humble to all the blessings that we have, and it's just amazing life, man.
What is going to be the scariest location we can expect on this season?
House of Wills. House of Wills.
House of Wills.
Really?
House of Wills.
So that's good. That
Wills,
okay.
Cleveland, Ohio.
Wow. So Cleveland and Ohio itself seems to be a hotbed of paranormal activity. It has been for years. Do you guys agree? Because my Lord, they got some great locations in Ohio.
I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. This is Marcus speaking. That place has some demonic stuff going on, and that's what makes House of Wills by far the scariest place, to the point to where, if you watch this episode, you're gonna see something that you never would have thought that ever would have happened on Ghost Brothers happens. Like, people have seen shadow figures, apparitions, doors slammed, this, that. We've been touched by ghosts, but you won't see what happens on this. Like, you've never seen anything happen like this before when you see the House of Wills episode.
So it's stuff.
You got me wanting to watch it, Marcus.
I had a thought. I was just thinking while you guys were talking. Does this make any sense to you? For some reason, it seems like the political battleground states are very pronounced with their paranormal activity. Ohio, Pennsylvania, Florida, Wisconsin, Michigan,
Georgia, Savannah.
Georgia, absolutely. Any thoughts on why that might be? What could the parallel be between being a political battleground state and being a paranormal hotspot? I have to ponder that.
Exactly. I got a theory. I always have theories.
And what's your theory on that?
Juwan, I hear you. Go ahead, Juwan, and I got my theory right after you, John.
No, go ahead, because I'm still trying to work out my thoughts.
All right, so this is what I think. Typically with these places that the Revolutionary War typically happened, and a lot of like strong, like, emotional, like family versus family type of stuff was happening. If you notice that with all the investigations of haunted situations, there's always like a strong, like emotional tie with this, like whether it be like, a lover's quarrel or whatever. So there was times where it would be brother versus brother, in these states, going to get in the Civil War. There would be times where it would be like slaves running to freedom in these spots. There would be people trying to, get their in their minds, their property back in their, it's just, and that's why I think that there's so much activity in these spots, because it's like that's where most of America was really built. And then, people getting killed, and, the Indians, the Native Americans being murdered. So it's just like a lot of like turmoil. We always have this situation where it was built on a, Indian burial ground, something very sacred. So that's what I think.
Interesting.
I think you might be onto something there, because, it's a lot of, we all know that emotions are energy, and energy leaves imprints on environments. And that very well could be the case, because so many struggles took place in all those states, all those battleground states, along with the Dakotas and the Native Americans. Of course, you all those things left just a wash on the environment. And we would all be crazy to think that maybe just a little bit of that residue was not left over from these tragic times in our history.
Right.
Quick question, because, oh boy, what a fast hour. Amazing. Love talking to you guys. Always really, really fun. We're down to about the last 6-7 minutes. I know all three of you have religious backgrounds. How do you fit? Where does the paranormal fit into your overall personal philosophies? Does it fit in with religion? Is it separate from religion? I don't want to put words in your mouths.
Man, I think honestly, like my religious background pushes my belief even further. Like I've already had a spiritual background, believing, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, coming from a Southern Christian background, my mother being a pastor of a church. So I've always been open and receptive to spirits. And I feel like if I have to be receptive to the Holy Ghost, I have to acknowledge that there are other type of spirits and entities as well. So I think my spiritual background kind of it allowed me to open my eyes and make me question things a little bit more.
Very good.
Yeah, that was a good answer. Now, your mom being in the clergy, does she kind of take a dim view of you in the paranormal? Or is she very accepting of that?
She's been very, very supportive, surprisingly, man. Like, she's my mother. Like, so she's ride or die with me. She supports any decision that I make. Like, she understands that I've always been that hard-headed child and that I'm going to do what I want to do. So she definitely respects that and she supports me. But then again, we are on TV, so she could be just trying to get that Bentley come season 10 too. That's what it is.
It very well could be too.
That's what it is. I know what it is, Mama. That's really what it is, Mama. I know what it is, Mama.
Don't worry about that, baby. Don't worry about that, baby. Go ahead and do what you got to do. Do what you got to do for the Lord.
Go ahead, run up to that haunted house, baby. It's okay.
Go ahead, baby. I got you. I got you. I got you out here.
Ghosting,
here, baby. I got you.
Ghosting for God. That's right.
Ghosting for God. There it
is. Any other?
That's our new ministry.
Any other theories from the other two gentlemen, just in terms of worldview and how all this fits together?
For me personally, I just think growing up with the religious background, like Dalen said, to piggyback, it definitely already had me more receptive to a spiritual world. So going into exploring the unknown that we do and tapping into this paranormal genre, I really think it's kind of allowed us to be more open-minded on both ends. You know what I mean? Like, from what could possibly be out there from a afterlife perspective, like where do you go, or what could possibly be out there just from like an apparition, paranormal, demonic perspective, if you want to claim it that to be. Like, I think it's really kind of helped us in a way.
Yeah.
So,
well, I know that. Both Joel and I are, we grew up Lutheran and we're, practicing Christians. And for me, I agree with you. I find that if you're going to be open to one kind of spirituality, then it certainly only makes sense to kind of fit in. To me, my cliche that I always bring up, I kind of see this world, the paranormal in the broadest sense, as a triangle. So you have the religious side of the triangle, you have the scientific side of the triangle, and then you have what we now call the paranormal, which is kind of a dry, quasi-scientific take on it. And I see those three sides kind of come together, and I'm always really fascinated by which way individuals, which of those arms of the triangle do people kind of emphasize. But it sounds like you guys are pretty well balanced, between all three, and don't have a problem, with working in what we now call the paranormal into your overall sort of spirituality and specifically Christianity. It's I think it makes lots of sense. Maybe that gives you a little more ease so that you guys can be as relaxed as you are and be as funny and charming as you are as well.
We have 1 minute left, by the way, for the show. I can't believe it's gone by this fast. And why don't you tell the listeners where they can catch the show and the network and anything else you guys got going on?
And get a hold of you guys, too.
Yeah, pimp away, guys. Plug everything. Plug it out.
Right. Well, you can catch the Ghost Brothers there on March the 10th on TLC at 9 Eastern, 8 Central. And, catch us on Instagram. I'm Dalen Spratt. You got the Marcus Harvey. I keep it going. And you have Juwan Mass on Instagram, and just follow us on Facebook too. And Ghost Brothers, our Facebook page. We always do. We always respond back, and we're doing Facebook Live. So be sure to catch us.
Yeah, check me out. I was just waiting for you to finish, Dalen. To be honest, I didn't know you were going to chime in for everybody. But yeah, Juwan Mass on Instagram is at Juwan Mass. Twitter is at Juwan Mass. Facebook is at Juwan Mass. Be sure to look out for season 2. We're on a new network. It's TLC. We're not talking about T-Bob's Left Eye and Tilly. We are actually talking about TLC, the network. We're coming on 9 p.m. That's going to be 8 Central. We want everybody to tune into the new season. We got 8 episodes this time, so look out for it. It's going to be creepier. It's going to be more intense. The ghosts are flirting. They're getting real interactive. I think this season is going to be something y'all do not want to miss, man. Please tune in on TLC March 10th at 9 p.m. 8 Central.
And that's the Ghost Brothers, guys. We got to run. We got to sign off here. But on behalf of myself, Joel Sturgis, of course, Mr. Eric Olsen, we'd like to tell you to take care of each other, love each other. And until next time, this is us signing off. But tune in. Tune into the Ghost Brothers. Don't miss it. You're going to love it. And guess what? We got more true crime next week. And then we're also opening next Thursday, Eric, the vault, the spring vault, the spring giveaway is going to happen. Yes,
cool.
I have some doubles of books. I have some doubles of movies. We're going to open up the vault. We're going to give them away to a lucky listener. So don't miss that. See you guys next time.
Thank you for listening to this edition of After Hours AM. And please remember to like us on Facebook and also follow us over on Twitter.